Welcome back. It's your guy, Engineer Mojo, with another car tutorial video. Today I'm doing a rear brake change for a 2019 Toyota CHR. I've also done a front brake change. You can find that video down below in the video description. There is a link for that video. As always, I respect your time. Full tool list is displayed on the screen. Let's get this install started. The very first thing you want to do is put your vehicle in service mode. And here's how you do that. The sequence is very simple. You want to press and hold the brake pedal. Very important, hold the brake pedal. Press twice on your start button. That puts your car in accessory mode. Accessory mode, ignition on. Now you want to press up on your parking brake 3 times. Then you want to press down 3 times. And then press one more time down and hold it. At this point, you should be able to see the parking light on your dash blink. And you start to hear the rear brake piston disengage from the brake pad. While you're in service mode, the parking light on your dash and also on the parking brake button will continue to blink to let you know that you're in service mode. Here you'll see your brake assembly with the wheel off. There's an electrical connection that you want to unhook. You just depress the blue tab up top, and that'll unhook that electrical connection to your brake piston. Then also the 2 guide pins, you want to unbolt those as well, and that will all assist in removing your pads. Here's a quick video montage of removing the 2 guide pin bolts that hold on the caliper. This is a 14mm socket. You'll need something to hold the nut, the locking nut that's on the front side of this bolt. You see where I'm pointing now? This bolt will want to spin if you don't put a locking wrench on there. So you can use a plier or flare nut wrench if you can get around there to help you loosen that bolt. I'm using a combination of channel locks and the 14mm socket here. With the electrical connection removed on the top and the 2 guide bolts also removed, you can now remove the caliper from the brake pads and easily access your brake pads for removal. Take note that your brake pads are held in place by brake pad shims. This hardware does need to be replaced when you replace your brake pads. Your new brake pad set should come with new hardware, so that should be no issue. Before removing any pads or any shims, I like to note the orientation of the shim hardware as well as the orientation of the brake pads. I'll compare the brake pads, make sure I have the correct brake pad size for my model, and also I'll locate where the brake pad indicator is on the vehicle, whether it's the front side or the back side, and I try to match that with the replacement pads. So the short video montage of the removal of the brake pads themselves and the shims. Nothing really to note here except that I do use channel locks to help me remove the brake pads, give me some leverage. Be careful if you do use channel locks. You don't want to scar up your rotors, especially if you're trying to reuse the rotors that you have or try to resurface those. If you have too deep of a gouge on those rotors, you won't be able to resurface and reuse. You may have noticed while watching the video, I'm doing one shim at a time. That way I don't get confused about what shim goes where, and I can easily compare each shim as I take it off with the new shim to make sure that it's going on correctly. If you are removing the rotors for this replacement, this is where you can go ahead and do that. There are 2 bolts here that you take off, and that will allow you access to remove the caliper in full to remove the rotor. You may find that your rotor is stuck on the wheel studs and the hub itself. That's pretty easy to get it off. You just take your M8x1.25 bolts, again M8x1.25 bolts, and you thread those into the 2 holes that are on the rotor. You alternate between each hole, and you slowly take your wrench and apply tightening pressure to the rotor, and that will eventually pop free the rotor from its seized position and allow full removal. With all the new hardware in place, brake pad install is the reverse of removal. Just slide them on in within the shims. And just to be thorough, this is a quick video montage of the back pad removal and reinstall, including shim replacement as well. With the brake pads in place, my next step is to re-grease the guide pins. They will slide somewhat easily outside of their boot. You might need a little bit of tug to get them unseated from their boot, but once they're unseated, they slide right out. And then you apply the high temperature grease to your guide pins to make sure that they're operating properly once you reinstall everything on your calipers. Once re-greased, install is opposite of removal. To slide those back within the boot and make sure the boot is seated around the collar that holds it tight to the caliper guide pin. You're almost at the home stretch now. Next step is to depress the piston within the caliper housing. You can either buy a brake tool kit for about $20 to $30, or you can rent one for free from your local auto parts store. These tools are fairly simple to use. Just find the right adapter, the caliper that you're using, assemble like so as I'm showing in the video. You'll want the adapter piece mating with the caliper piston itself, and the flat steel piece on the outside of the caliper. And from there, you just tighten the tool, and as you tighten the tool, it will depress the piston back inside the caliper housing. Here's a quick video montage of that exact process of me depressing the caliper piston in the housing and tightening the brake tool to make that happen. Forgot to mention, very important, before you do this step, go pop your hood and make sure that you take off the top to the brake fluid reservoir. Take that top off so that air pressure can move freely through your system as you're depressing this caliper piston. This is very important. With the piston fully depressed within the caliper housing, now your caliper should easily slide over the new thicker brake pads, and you can bolt this all into place. Please remember, use the torque specs that I put in the beginning of the video to reapply the caliper bolt pins, and you'll be good to go. And one item I forgot to note, as you reinstall the caliper pin bolts, you want to apply blue Loctite to the threads to make sure that those are secured in place. The requirement for the blue Loctite is put in place by the manufacturer. Also, last but not least, don't forget to re-plug in the electrical connection to your brake caliper. With everything bolted in place, the last thing I like to do is hit the caliper with a little bit of brake clean, get that all cleaned up, remove any residual grease or grime that I put on these rotors so that they're fresh and clean for the new braking period. Now you're almost done. The very last thing you have to do is take your car back out of service mode. It's almost the reverse of how you put it in. Again, you want to depress the brake pedal, keep it depressed, press your ignition button 2 times. Your car in accessory mode, ignition on. Now you want to go to your parking brake button. You want to pull up 3 times and then pull up on the 4th time and hold it. As you're holding on that 4th time, you'll start to hear the piston re-engage the brake pad on the back of your car. You know you're done once your parking brake light stops blinking, and you'll stop hearing the rewinding of the parking brake itself. I share some love with a fellow YouTuber. Down below in the video description, there is a video that I like. I love it. It shows you exactly how to engage service mode and remove service mode from your car. It's a pretty good video. Check it out. And with that, your car out of service mode. Now it's time to button it all up, reinstall your wheel, torque those down as well. And as always, thank you for watching. If you have any tips or tricks to make this easier, please list that down below in the comments. Like, share, and I'll see you on the next video. I'm out.